So let's get to this.
Oh.
This a little bit of heat fodder out there yesterday, Leroy. They were talking about him briefly on NBA Today. You know, some summer storylines. They were talking. The jump off point of this was Terry Rozier's comments about the fans being bored and, you know, we're excited to run it back. And, you know, some would say, you know, is Terry Rozier speaking to me about the fans being bored and wanting shakeups? I don't know. It's hard to say. But Zach Lowe of the Lowe Post, he had this to say on the Miami Heat. Now, he is I feel this is done many times, but he is discussing the status of the Miami Heat and where they are at, and he has described it as time may be up for them. The walls are closing in.
The walls are starting to close in on the Heat. Jimmy Butler is a year older. He's in the last year of his contract. We don't know what happens there. Caleb Martin's departure is a huge loss for them. He just filled out so many of their lineups, and the top of the East is better. Look, Terry Rozier is right. We barely got to see this team play together healthy after they traded for him, but it's an uphill climb. Now, this team has finished sixth or worse in the East 3 out of the last 4 years. I don't know why we should expect a great regular season from them, and it's just hard to come from the bottom every year in the playoffs.
Right. Isn't it funny, though? Like, it's always amazing to me how the Heat rotation players leaving, then it's a valuable blow to the rotation. But when they're here, nobody gives a rat's ass about them. Like, they can't even name them. They're all just the undrafted guys. Like, I saw Chris Mannix wrote about this too, where he had said that that the recent exodus of rotation players, Martin, Strus, and Vincent, is alarming. And I'm like, yeah, it's alarming if you don't watch what they're going to do and replace them immediately with Keyshawn Johnson. So, I mean, you can. It's only alarming once they leave, but once they're here, they don't care about them. But once they become Lakers or they become Sixers, then all of a sudden they're the missing piece. It's a marvel. It's a marvel to see that. It's a marvel to see that. But the walls are closing in on the Heat and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, you know, is right now, Leroy, very concerned about people thinking that the walls are closing in on the Miami Heat, as you could imagine. Very stressed out about this, as in the midst of this, he is at some bar and he is singing Shabuzi. That's a man who's concerned about the walls closing in.
He has nothing. He has no concern in the world. By the way, do you love this?
Yes.
You love this?
Yeah, I do.
Leroy?
I can't believe they didn't extend him.
It's off season. I'd say live your best life.
I love
but
it.
I would also say that when it's time to go to work, go to work.
Tobin's the worst, man.
Why?
You just said they should offer him the contract extension.
They should have.
But 2 days ago, you were like, LeBron from Jimmy.
No. What I said was,
what were you saying?
What I said was,
What were you saying?
One has to wonder because LeBron can't go until the middle of the season anyway. One has to wonder if it did go awry. Is Spo just laying the groundwork for a plan B? Let's just say the Lakers and Heat both get off to gnarly starts. You know, is all of a sudden that bridge now repaired in a spot where Spo could pull the trigger on that? The man's not dumb. The man is not going to sit here and not leave himself with options. That's what makes him the best.
Gotta love Tobes, man. Tobes the same guy that wanted to trade Spo.
That's not true. First of all, you always got to take. I just want to say this to people. You always got to take July sports talk with a grain of salt. And second of all. All I said was at the time when that happened, we were talking about
July sports.
You
boxed yourself. You boxed yourself.
July sports talk is a different animal, dude.
Leroy, he just boxed
July
himself.
sports talk is a different animal. And what I'm telling you is, when I said back in the day, I just threw it out there when the Miami Heat, because you gotta just throw these things. You said, "Oh, you traded Spo." No, what I said was, at the time, Pat Riley said I was nowhere close to retiring. This was after their Bubbles final run. Brad Stevens had just left to go to the front office, and you had to wonder, does Spo at the time, did he always want to be just the coach, or did he want to be running his own organization? One had to wonder, did he have his eye on Portland? Hashtag Sportland. But I wasn't giving him up for nothing. So
Like
at the time,
our guys grind through a pretty ugly first half.
oh, great! I would like him to rip his team publicly from time to time. But what I was saying is would there be a possibility that he would ever have his eye on going somewhere else? But I'm not giving him up for nothing. He was arguably the Heat's best trade asset, so they would have had to give up Damian Lillard for me to give up Spo. So don't make it seem like I just want Spo out of here. That's not what happened.
This was July talk, right?
Yeah, July talk.
Okay. And last year's July talk was what? Damian Lillard?
Yeah.
Oh, and what happened? We needed to get a tranquilizer gun because of you?
Yeah.
Because
I
so
was in
don't
the
tell
dark-
me July sports.
I was in a
It's
dark
just
place, though.
a great-
I'll admit that.
Take July
I wasn't
sports.
proud of my behavior, Vlad, and you're trying to bring up I'm a
Tobin.
changed man.
Every July you do this.
No, that's not fair, dude. That's not fair.
Oh my
That's not fair.
You do this every July, and then you just say, "Take July sports talk with a grain of salt."
Yeah. Everybody knows you have to take July sports talk with a grain of
You
salt.
love July sports.
Leroy,
That's when
you
you
don't-
get on your boat and start whale hunting.
Well, not this year. I'm a different guy.
You say that every year.
Oh man,
Every year.
all I care about right now is Keyshawn Johnson, Pella Larson, Kalel Ware. I'm talking about my guys. That's all I can. Jaime Jaquez taking over Summer League. These are the things I care about right now. These are a few of my favorite things.
Leroy, am I wrong in saying that July sports is Tobin's might be your favorite time of the year?
No, that's not fair.
Yes, I think speculation talk is your favorite.
I'm not speculating about anything.
Bro, Leroy, what does he come in every Monday? Man, NBA Reddit this weekend. Ooh. NBA Reddit.
I can't help it.
That's every Monday.
If anything,
I had NBA Reddit on fire this weekend.
It's really the audience's fault because they stoke the flames. Like they're always going to me and they're trying to make this in the place of Tobin. Did you see this? Tobin, I can't help it. Like I got people talking about Brandon Ingram in my ear not constantly. I'm just trying to get a sub from Publix and people want to know about Brandon Ingram. And I'm like, I don't really see it. I don't think so. He's got durability questions, 208 million, a lot of money for him. I don't know. And then people are like, I'm just trying to go about my day, trying to take Sunny Bunny to the dog groomer. What do you think about Lowry marketing, Tobin? I'm like, I would say it's probably unlikely. So I see what you're saying, Vlad. It seems like I act the same, but I don't. I'm really trying to change. It's just that people always are in my ear. And sometimes as a showman, you have to give the people what they want. You know what I'm saying, Leroy?
No, I'm not listening. I can zone
Leroy's totally avoiding
He's
us this
completely
whole
out.
time.
What are you doing right now?
Yeah, he's totally.
No, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just like enough of this.
Enough of what?
Checked
You
out.
wish-washing, flip-flopping. Like every year we go through the same thing.
I'm not wishing.
It's just a different.
I'm
Really,
not flip-flopping about
really.
anything. I'm not worried
Really?
about Jimmy Butler.
Serious, Tobin?
Jimmy Butler is going to come with a vengeance this year, dude.
Really?
I'm telling you right now.
Can I just tell you, going into my last year, my body said that. No, my mind said that, but my body didn't. And I was not aware that my body was not going to follow my heart. And it happens all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that Jimmy can't have a career year. I'm saying that Jimmy can't have a big year. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is for people to just think that he just going to turn it on after having a series of injuries like that, right? At 35, 36, you're being foolish.
Why does he look like he's 18?
Because of the baggy pants.
Why does he look like he's like the
baggy-
extra in the X Games?
the baggy
Like that?
pants.
He looks like he should be doing.
He loves X Games now. That's
Oh.
his new thing. His new thing is X Games. He went to the X Games this year. He's big into the bag, but he was wearing baggy pants last year in the locker room.
He
Too.
looks like Lil Wayne when Lil Wayne was skateboarding.
I think he's into skateboard. Never more confident in this man.
Hey, I've never seen more uncomfortable white people than a black dude singing a country song. Look at them guys in the back.
With the
All
flag,
the instruments.
flag in the background.
All the instruments.
flag.
Nobody moving.
With the flag in the
Wait,
background.
wait. Shot guy. Hey, come on. Look at it.
This guy's coming for blood this year. I love it.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
His
You got
mind
one-
is coming for blood. We don't know what his body coming for yet.
Here was his body's gonna
'Cause
say.
his body, he didn't
No.
want his body to be hurt last year either.
I understand. He said it's that time, and his body said not today.
No, I told, dude, why do you fall for it?
Jimmy Butler makes me fall for it.
No,
What do you mean?
reality. You've been around sports long enough to see what old people do.
It happens, baby. Like sometimes.
So you think last year was an anomaly and it's going to get better?
Sometimes I don't know.
Not at 35.
It might, dude. It might. D Wade had a down year. Then he bounced back.
Over under 65 games for Jimmy.
Over.
Okay.
Over
I
60?
ain't-
Over
Huh?
65?
Over.
Yeah. Exactly, Vlad.
What do you mean? I mean, unless they have it wrapped up, like.
But no, then he's I
No,
don't understand why people call me rain cloud. I'm the one that's keeping the realest here.
Don't you hate when you're real? You keep everything real, and
There ain't nothing here, Vlad, I can live with. There ain't nothing that I said that wasn't true. Okay? Nothing. It ain't got no hate. It ain't got no malice in what I'm saying. That's reality. I can live with that. You jackasses that think that that's being a hater, you're the ones that's living in a dream world.
Yeah, it seems like the same speech I got before the Buck series.
What Buck series?
You know what Buck series?
Oh,
Got the
2 years
same
ago?
speech. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Wait,
You're acting like
wait,
it's
wait.
ancient history.
I always say this. Sports is sports. That's why you play the games. Anything can happen.
Nobody can have a bounce back year.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that your chance of having a bounce back year closer to 40 than 30.
He's 34.
Yeah, but he's like 38 in Tibbs' year.
What? That's not science.
That's Tibbs.
35 is not old.
Okay.
Hold on, Leroy.
How old are you?
It's over. 35 is not old, but if you've played an extensive amount of basketball in the postseason basketball adds another 2 to 3 years in your career.
I know, but he had no postseason basketball.
The
So now
typical reply of a hater. I'm just keeping it real.
he's
Okay, tell me here.
He's not
I
wrong.
would like to ask any of you. Say anything that I've said that hasn't been accurate.
Well, we don't know if it's accurate.
No,
All
no,
you're
no.
saying-
I'm just going with. Listen, I don't know either, but I'm telling you, the reality of it is that when you get to this age, the bounce back year don't come like you think. That's a reality.
You don't think a summer off's going to help?
I just said, right? I just said, like, yeah, it could happen, right? But the likelihood of a 35-year-old having a bounce back year is not as big as you think. You just say, oh, chalk it up, just like you did last playoffs. Chalk it up, Jimmy.
Yeah. Sometimes you're the bull, sometimes you're the horns, dude. Happens.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Because one year I was spot on. You said I was wrong. Last year you said I was going to be wrong, and you were right. So like it happens. 50-50.
No, it's not a matter of being wrong and right. It's the reality of sports, which you tend to never pay attention to.
No, that's not fair.
You don't.
That's not fair. I can't let you say things that are not fair. That's not fair.
Okay, because can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on Kevin Love?
Love him.
Okay.
Perfect role guy.
But
Yeah.
he's old.
He does what he does.
No, but he's old. So
Mhm.
you know where he is.
But
Jimmy's a year off of him and play more basketball than him.
Does he look just a year younger than him?
No, but that's not okay, dude. See, this is why I get frustrated having these, because me stating an absolute fact about sports.
You're comparing Jimmy to Kevin Love, dude? He
No,
plays
I'm
15,
just
16.
saying that when you get older,
Like,
it
see,
don't-
when
it
you say
don't-
things
listen,
like that, though,
it
Leroy,
don't- listen,
Leroy, when you say things like that, like,
age,
that's like growing
age
apart.
doesn't come at you and say, hey, we're getting older. Age just goes, we're here.
Leroy, one guy plays 15 minutes a game while the other is the team's
Why
best
does he
player.
play 15 minutes a game?
Because that's what he can handle.
Okay. And so you think Jimmy's going to be able to handle 30, 35?
Yes.
Every year after year after year?
Yes.
Based on what?
He plays a lot of minutes. That's what he does.
But you're missing my question.
No, you're making it seem like everybody at the same age. Like, is everybody LeBron James at 40? No.
Nobody's LeBron James.
Okay. So what, like Kyle Lowry at 37 is not LeBron James at 40.
Right.
Not everybody's the same, Leroy. That's the point.
I understand.
Jimmy Butler at 34
but
is
that
not
doesn't
at 34.
But you always assume your guy is going to be that anomaly.
But you're assuming that he's going to be Kevin Love, and he's
No,
not.
I'm just willing to admit the realities of getting older.
You're not willing to admit the realities, because the reality is he very much could have a bounce back season, but you don't want to acknowledge that.
I said he could. I said he could.
You're not making it seem like that.
I said he could, but I said the reality of it is people get on the other side of 35. They don't have bounce back years.
Here's the question. What's a bounce back year for Jimmy?
Correct. There.
All he's got to do is play.
Wait a minute. What?
He's one of the most consistent players in the league.
I get that, but
No,
what's a
but-
bounce back year? And I'm piggybacking off a point that Stunning Steve Red wrote, because for the amount of money that Jimmy wants for his contract extension,
But his production is worth it.
It's-
It's just a question of availability.
so availability.
That's literally it. Like, you're gonna say he's not. He's. I think he's one of only two players to be with his stats with his points, assists, rebounds, and steals. He's like, it's him and DeJounte Murray in the league who would do that. The Mixed Bag is brought to you by Broward Health. Well into your future. You guys can get in on the chat. Say again, Leroy. I apologize. Go ahead.
I'm guiding the Uber guy to my house because for some reason they don't know how to get to where they're going.
In fairness, getting into your house is like getting into Fort Knox.
I guess.
Give a
But he
blood
ain't even on
sample.
the street. He was on the other side of the street with the little crick behind my house saying I'm here. Dude, I'm not jumping.
I got your wings.
I'm not jumping across the creek to get my food.
Man. Mixed bag. You get this Bobby Marks. Bobby Marks was on ESPN yesterday, and he has said he has heard the anger of the Heat fan because of the lack of movement. Here was ESPN's Bobby Marks on NBA Today.
I live in South Florida.
Congratulations.
Heat fans, well, not right now. It's hot down there. Heat fans want more. They want more. They see what Boston did last year. They see what New York has done. They saw with certainly Philadelphia as far as loading up here. But as Zach said, what else can you do? They're limited on their draft picks they can send out. They would have loved to get DeMar DeRozan. They tried as heck to get DeMar DeRozan. Nobody wanted Duncan Robinson, no offense. They had one first-round pick to trade. They wanted Tyus Jones. They couldn't make a deal here. So they're basically it's about fringe moves as far as what they can do.
All right, there you go. Bobby Marks saying that he tried like heck to get DeMar DeRozan, even though it really doesn't feel like they did try like heck to get DeMar DeRozan.
According to you, bounce back Jimmy is going to get it done.
Yeah,
Now, a month ago, you were saying you wanted something new.
I do want something new. I still want something new, but I want it alongside Jimmy and Bam.
You think that's going to be a little hard to do?
What do I think is going to be hard to do?
That. I would say getting a high level player
Mm-hmm.
would be harder than just hoping Jimmy bounce back.
Yeah, I would
Because
agree.
of the resources you have.
I would agree. Asking for a Jimmy Butler bounce back would be easier than trying to get a star player who we don't know who's available yet.
Right, correct.
We're in agreement there.
And then here's the other problem. So there's going to be a bunch of teams that say we're going to ride it out with our guy.
Mhm.
And then in December, they're going to want to start trading guys.
Yep.
The Heat are going to be a part of that. And then we're going to start the whole process over in the beginning of January saying, oh, they need 20, 30 games to play together or whatever. Right? We've done this. That's what this season looks like.
I think it depends on the higher level of player, though. Like, it's one of those things where, like, adding Terry Rozier to a mix as opposed to, let's just say, Trae Young. Like,
But no, I'm saying that Kyrie was added to Luka, and that thing didn't kick in until the middle of a year later.
mhm. But they did purposely tank at the end, though, too.
Yeah, them bums.
Like, they did. They purposely
Okay,
tanked.
I got you.
So, are you saying like you would be against them making a big trade in the middle of the season?
I'm just saying that making a big trade in the middle of the season is equivalent to buying more time, because how often does it really affect that season? It's for the next season.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make a trade then, right, depending on who you have to trade and what moves you have to make, you're giving up more resources and you're basically sacrificing the end of this year for the following year.
Possibly. But I mean, I guess it
I'm just saying, are you ready for that?
It depends on the player. It depends on the player. Like
Not
you got to.
really.
Okay.
Like, give me a situation where it's worked out right away.
Middle of the year trades working out right away.
It's happened, but it's been a while.
Cavaliers final year of LeBron there. They made a big trade. They basically traded their entire roster.
Was
and they
it?
went to
But
finals.
did it
They were
work?
pretty middling.
Like that Darren Williams getting
who do they go for? That was when they
Jeff
got
Green?
They got Jay Crowder in the middle of the year. They traded him out. Then they
Wait. We talking about?
They got Darren Williams, and then they got Larry Nance Jr. It wasn't like a
No, it wasn't like a star. I'm talking about somebody a star that's gonna play on side of Jimmy and Bam. We're not talking about some role players. I'm talking about there's been trades of role players where you can get depth at that time of year, but you still have your same core.
Okay, so you're talking about
a star player that you want. Like if the Heat were to get Trae Young in December or January, right? That ain't gonna work out right away.
Maybe not.
It never does.
You can't say never.
It never does. Name one. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Give me a second. I mean, let me think about it a little bit.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Goodness gracious. Let me ask you this, Vlad. Did the OG Anunoby trade in the middle of the year? Did that seem like it worked, especially when he played?
Oh, he got you there. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, but they didn't. Okay.
He got you there. No, he got
No.
He only had 3 losses.
They got an 80. They 800% willing.
Okay, one case.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you just say give me one?
I did it.
You
All right.
just said give me one.
You're right. That's it.
I actually could give you
If you would have told me, if you would have said give me 3.
No, I'm just saying it very rarely happens. Was that a successful season for you?
Ask him.
It could have been better without the injuries.
Okay.
What was the successful trade?
Absolutely.
Didn't they finish the 2 seed?
They finished the 2 seed, 150 games,
and they were 4 games out of the 9th seed.
So okay, yeah, but we were also a team that didn't have to play in the play.
Now he's you know what it is.
Not. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. But I'm saying, so you consider that success. So I'm saying here, if the Heat get past the second round and they make a trade like that, that's going to be a success. You're going to be satisfied with that.
What are we in the Canadian Football League? You moving the goalposts?
No, I'm not. I'm just asking you if you have the same success that he had last year.
No, I'm not a Knicks fan. Second round isn't good enough for me. But that's not what. But like all of a sudden you're moving.
So you need a trade that's going to even be substantially better.
But you're moving the goalposts on your question.
I'm not.
You are.
How?
Because you're like, oh, give me a move. Give me a move where it worked out. I gave you a move.
I'm gonna tell you why.
No, give me a move that actually resulted.
All right.
Your first argument was with the Kyrie and Luka, and you said it didn't work.
It didn't work right away.
Right. His counter was the Knicks made a trade for OG that worked immediately. Injury is the only thing that happened to him where you don't know how far the progression of that team would have been. But when he was on the court, they only lost 3 regular season games.
Correct.
And 6 games altogether out of like 35.
Okay.
So there is data
you
that
could say last year. I'll give you another one in the same conference that worked out was your boy Pascal Siakam. Another one. All-star. Went to Indiana.
They went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
They went to the Eastern Conference Final. Okay.
He got you there.
Okay. Okay.
Point for
You call that a beatbox in.
No. All right.
Yeah, he got you boxed in.
It's not really boxed in. A couple of examples that it works. It usually trades. Trades are not normally that big.
Trades don't normally work
right. Not in the middle of the season.
Stars or superstars, but
right. Exactly.
Allowed that to happen.
Exactly.
It's the reason why you can say yes, because without those trades, You're not looking at these teams the way they are. You're looking at them right now.
Well, and then keep in mind, one of the reasons why the OG trade worked out so well is because you had 6 teams all within 2 games. So when you make that charge and you win 5 out of 6 or 7 out of 8, it moves you up to the 2nd seed.
Dude,
And that's kind of what happened with the Knicks.
all right, but the reality is, I mean, like, this is where you kind of go back to the Heat's health thing. Like, there's not a big difference between those 2 through 7 teams. There's really not.
Right.
Like,
And which brings me to the original point that Pat was making. Like, okay, we need everybody to play.
Yes.
Because we're not that far away from the 2nd seed.
Dade South says Vladimir Tarasenko, Buxton.
We're talking NBA, not hockey. Come on, man. Stop.
Take a break. Back after this.